Hello, and welcome to the KB Michelle Green podcast. We would like for you to go ahead and click that subscribe button that you would like and that you would share. If you're listening in from Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or wherever, we thank you for listening and we hope that you enjoyed this episode. Hello, and welcome to the podcast for the day. The podcast for today is actually going to be about an extension of what we talked about on yesterday. Yesterday, we talked about pretending that we don't need companionship with our money and with our credit or our finances and even in our personal relationship. I was sharing that if you haven't listened to the episode, please go back and listen, but I'll just give you a brief summary. I was listening to a family member who was laughing about their breakup with a person who they were in relationship with. And they were laughing about being a person who was dumped. They were laughing about the fact that they were no longer in this relationship. And they were saying that it was funny because they were no longer a part of this relationship. But what I wanted to say about it is, yesterday we talked about how the person was actually desiring a companionship and had been talking so much about how they were enjoying the person up until the point where they intentionally started doing things and saying things that would not allow the relationship to work out, but still expected for the relationship to work. Now, I know that we talk about credit and money in this series and finances, but that really struck a nerve for me. And it struck a nerve because so many of us are pretending to be happy when we are really sad. But as an extension of that episode yesterday, what I would like to say about it is, we have to also understand that once we come to truth, to grips with our truth, whatever that truth is, that we want to still be encouraged and know that God is still choosing us to make the right choices with our money, with our credit, with our finances, and especially in our personal lives, as well as business lives for those of us who are entrepreneurs listening in. We have to really decide that we are going to be intentional once we do accept our truth. Intentional in finding out more education than the information that we previously had about the relationship that we have with money, the relationship we have with our credit and finances, the relationship that we have in our personal life, because the truth of the matter is that we all want companionship and need companionship. We were not designed to be doing this life by ourselves. So in being intentional about our life, what we have to realize and understand is that God has really called us to these choices, these decisions that we have to make about our life. So once we decide that we're going to be committed to the whatever it is, the relationship with our money, the relationship with our credit, the relationship with our finances, the relationship with the person that we are intimately involved with, or even committed to our business. Once we decide that we are going to be committed, the next step that we need to have is a plan in place to gain new knowledge and understanding. The issue with most of us is not that we are bad people or that we are horrible people. It's just that we don't have enough knowledge about the subject matters that we are failing in. If we're failing in money, it's because we don't have enough knowledge with understanding. Understanding gives us the ability to be able to apply the information that we received. So it's not just something that's sitting at the top of our head and we're just, okay, we learned it, but we don't know how or fully understand how to apply it to our life. So what this means is that once we gain the information and we're intentionally committed to making this change with our money, our credit, and our finances, the next stage after commitment is to gain new knowledge with understanding. So how do we gain new knowledge? Well, one of the reasons why I do this podcast is simply for educational purposes. Educational purposes in our life spiritually, educational purposes in our life mentally, and educational purposes in our life as it pertains to our finances, as it pertains to our money, our credit, and everything else in between that can improve our lives. So what do we need to do? We need to, once we gain some new knowledge about the subject matter that we are struggling in, we need to literally make a plan. See, once we start making a plan, then we will have a vision or a reason as to why we need to do the things that we need to do. Many times we fail in finances and with our money, making the wrong decisions, not being fully committed to the accounts that we have signed our names to, not being aware that we need these creditors and we need these bankers and we need these people who are going to provide the funds for us while we don't have the money in our hands at this moment. We will be able to pay it off over time, but we fail to really understand the relationship that we need to have and be committed to. But the part of the problem is, in addition to the fact that we don't understand that we need the companionship, is that we really don't understand how we need to commit with a plan. We have to have a vision, or we have to be able to see the end goal that is in mind. What is the end goal? Is it a house? Is it a car? And once you receive it, then what? Once you receive the house, have you paid the house off? Do you have a plan as to how much money you're going to put on the mortgage every single month? Do you have a plan in which you're going to pay your car note more than enough every single month so that you can pay it off early and pay it off with less interest than what they charge you in order for you to purchase it? See, lending and being able to have credibility with your money is simply saying that I have this amount of money now, and you have way more money than I do, lender, banker, grantor, whoever it is that is providing the funds to us. And we're saying that, hey, because you have more money than me, let's develop a relationship, a companionship, something that is very intimate as it pertains to my finances. And as long as I am breathing, I'm going to put together a plan outside of the terms and conditions of our contract agreement to make sure that I keep this relationship good with you. It's not about having a kind of relationship per se that you have to talk to the person every day, but it is a personal relationship that you should have with your money, with your credit, with your financial plan to make sure that your outcome turns out to be exactly what you set out for it to be. See, when we plan for a child to go to college, or we ourselves going back to school, when we plan for us to get a new vehicle or a vehicle, period, when we plan for a mortgage, or we plan for opening up our business, or we plan for paying off debt that we've already accrued, we have to think about the end goal in mind. And we cannot get so sidetracked along the way of paying it off that we forget the initial companionship that we develop at the beginning of the application process. We cannot forget what it felt like to be able to be approved. We cannot forget along the journey that this was something that was necessary. It was needed. We cannot forget that this is something that we will have to have as we go along throughout our entire lives. We all will have to have a place to stay. We all will have to have food on our tables. We have to have a table. So we need furniture. We need appliances. We need clothes. We need shoes. We need vehicles, transportation, communication. We need insurance. We have to pay our taxes. We need a investment, a savings plan. So why are we delaying all of these commitments? Do we not realize that the longer we wait, the harder it is for us to accrue? So let's stop now pretending and fooling ourselves, because the bottom line is truly that if we're not real with ourselves and we don't understand that we got to be intentional about what God has placed in our hands, then we will miss the boat every time. We will mess up the plan every time. So let's stay focused on the plan. What is the vision? Because see, the vision helps you to stay so focused that you can say no to things that you wasn't able to say no to before. If you are interested in starting a plan with Kingdom Builders, as you know, we have Kingdom Builders Credit Repair, and we have a budget plan that we have within the program that we can help you with. So if you don't know which way to go, but you need direction today, definitely reach out to our website, www.kingdombuilderscreditrepair.com. Put in your information and listen. We will give you a call because we believe in making changes in your life. That's what makes every day better. The fact that we understand companionship is real and it is necessary. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you have enjoyed. Bye-bye.